I am black. I said that I am black. I announced to the world that I am black, and immediately everyone is shocked. What is there to be shocked about? The truth is the truth. I know what they say about it. They say black is ugly, black is disgusting. They say nothing good comes from anything black. Black chickens lay no eggs. Black clouds bring rain. Black cake is the devil's food. Black cats bring bad luck, and black clothes means death. I know what they say about it, but that's the beauty of it all. That when we, a people originally from Africa, who've been called niggers, coloreds, and negroes, can take a name that was ugly and turn it into something of pride. When Stokely Carmichael stood in Greenwood, Mississippi, the world shivered. Negroes with their head conked and hair stirred fried free shivered at the thought of the word black. Stokely said it. Then Malcolm said it. Then Cleaver said it. Then James Brown, say loud, I'm black and I'm proud. Then we started singing slowly but surely. You see, black became beautiful. And as we realized the beauty of our own blackness, we did not become angry. And sisters, when we were called black, but boots of the black of the berry, the sweet of the juice. I am black, and am I black? I am the soothing soul of Luther Vandross, the pulsating sounds of Michael Jackson, the rap of Run DMC, the slam dunk of Michael Jordan, the political power of President Barack Obama, the judicial wisdom of Thurgood Marshall, the powerful preaching of Caesar Clark, and the gospel music of James Cleveland. I am black, and I am beautiful. Hell, I'm nobody's Negro. If you want to know who I am, you're going to tell them I'm Mr. Darkness. Girl, I'm your mahogany king. I'm blacker than 100 midnights. I am the essence of a generation who was misunderstood. And if anybody can ask you who I am, I want you to go on and tell them I'm the new black man.
I want every white person in this room who would be happy to be treated as this society in general treats our citizens, our black citizens. If you, as a white person, would be happy to receive the same treatment that our black citizens do in this society, please stand. You didn't understand the directions. If you white folks want to be treated the way blacks are in this society, stand. Nobody's standing here. That says very plainly that you know what's happening. You know you don't want it for you. I want to know why you're so willing to accept it or to allow it to happen for others.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to Alvin After Dark, brought to you by BMW of Freeport, located at 291 West Sunrise Highway in Freeport, New York. Please visit the service department located at 100 Cleveland Avenue in Freeport, New York, or contact Alvin Peters himself for your automotive needs, 516-740-6132. Welcome to Alvin After Dark. You know, some people ask me, will I be doing something for Black History? Will I be doing something for the month of February? And I said yes, you know, so I kind of wanted to get a little acclimated with what was going on and things like that. Definitely recap from last week's show. Once again, please visit Miss Shantice Hogue at www.simplycraftedforyou.com and use her skincare products. And I must say, I have used it thus far, and you know, I'm feeling definitely silky. I had a guest this evening. He couldn't make it, but definitely want to talk to you about Black Lives Matters. You know, we're in the month of February and it's Black History Month, but I want you to know that it shouldn't take 1 month to recognize Black history. And there's some things I definitely want to talk about. Definitely what's going on with Beyonce and supposedly, allegedly, the police officers in certain cities that she'll be touring in does not want to protect her or give her the escort that she's supposed to be given as an entertainer. It's amazing because it's like all of a sudden because Beyonce took the opportunity during Super Bowl to let the world know who she was and her stance on being a young black entertainer, that there's a problem. And I want to point out that there have been many entertainers throughout history that has stood up for racial, social inequality throughout the years. Just to name a few: John Legend, the song Imagine; Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, Wake Up Everybody; Sam Cooke, A Change Is Gonna Come; James Brown, I'm Black and I'm Proud; Boogie Down Productions, KRS One; and of course, Michael Jackson, We Are the World, Heal the World, Man in the Mirror. So many entertainers, not only Beyonce, has said, let me take a stance on social and racial injustice, not only from police, but to citizens against citizens. So I want to talk about Black Lives Matters. And I know it's a touchy subject. And hopefully I get a lot of phone calls. Definitely call me. Let me know what your opinion is. I was supposed to have a couple of police officers here this evening, but I believe conflict of interest, so I understand that. But definitely call in. Let me know what your opinion is. But I want you to understand that black lives need to also matter to black lives, not just when it's supposed to. It's funny because when did America become so sensitive? It's like we're sensitive when the mood suits us. I put something on Facebook just a second ago, and it tells about, us as being Americans, black Americans at that. The same way we rightfully flood the streets when cops kill black men is the same way we should flood the streets when a black man kills another black man. And I fully agree with that. So definitely call in. Let me know what your thoughts are. You see the number 516-945-9099. 'Cause I can definitely go on and on about this topic. But definitely call in. But once again, black lives need to matter to black lives. I said before that we are America's largest consumers, and we control a lot of things that we don't know we control. You know, and I was thinking in the car driving here, just thinking about Black history and what it means and what it entails. We have lived through many historical events. One of those events being the first black president. Not only he's the first black president, but he's the only president that has been disrespected out of any presidential office. And that says a lot. It says a lot about how he's viewed, about how we are viewed as people, and a whole as America. Once again, we become sensitive. When did America become so sensitive? And it's like the mood has to fit us when it wants to fit us. And it's unfair. There's a great book. It's called Black Like Me, and I didn't write it down, but it's a story about a man in the deep South. I think it was either the 40s or 50s. I can't remember what year, but it's called Black Like Me. And it was a book written about a white man, who decided to go down south to see what it'll feel like to be a black man. He took tanning pills, got his skin darker, and he went down there first as a white man. Of course, he was treated as a white man should be treated at that time. So over a couple of weeks, he decided to change and alter his skin color to become darker and darker. And he could not believe the way he was treated. It's a great book. It's called Black Like Me. I could look it up in a second and tell you who's it by, who the author is, and who the person was. But if you're out there, you should Google and definitely look it up. One of the best books I've read, and we have all read. I don't know if you know, growing up, junior high school, was To Kill a Mockingbird, and it's a part in the book and the movie that says you'll never understand a man until you jump in his skin and walk around. So, we can go back and forth on many different topics and what black lives mean to you and how does it matter, and some of the social injustice that are going on with our citizens and black citizens of today. This is 2016. And we, as men of color, not only black men, Hispanic men, men of color, have to be pre-scripted when being stopped by the police. I'm going to tell you what I do when I get stopped by the police. I don't get stopped too often if I'm speeding, of course, but if I get stopped by the police as a black man, a man of color, I have to know what to do. I have to put my hands on the steering wheel, put my key on the dash. I put down all the windows, especially if it's at nighttime. I put on the lights inside the car, and my hands on the steering wheel, and I say, "Good evening, officer." So I'm already programmed to address the police officer, to let him know that there's no threat. And it's a double-edged sword. Being a military man and having been on gate guard, I know what it is to be on the other side of that line. So it's a double-edged sword. And believe me, I'm not saying what they're doing is correct. The police job, their role is to protect and serve. Just like when I re-enlisted and back in the military, I had an oath. And my oath is, I will protect the United States of America from foreign and domestic. You don't think about it, but it sounds pretty severe. Sounds pretty intense when you think back at it. So a policeman's job is to protect and serve. And it's like they're doing the opposite. I had someone ask me about the Black Panthers. And the person was white Jewish person. And I immediately diverted from the conversation, only because it was not the time nor place. So there are many situations or topics that can go under Black Lives Matter. But once again, black lives need to matter to black lives. Because if they don't matter to you, how can you expect anyone else to respect you or make it matter to them? I go on social media for content, ideas, and lately, all I've been seeing, matter of fact, before I came upstairs to the studio, I was looking on Facebook and I saw a fight. This young lady, black young lady, teenager, is fighting one young lady. Two others stepped in. Mind you, people are around doing this, right? Doing this. It had to be about 50 people out there. She's getting jumped, and no one helped her. So once again, it's a double-edged sword. And believe me, those who don't know, think I grew up wearing this every day. I grew up in one of the worst projects in the 80s, 90s. Grew up in Edenwald Projects in the Bronx, uptown. So I know what it is. I know how it feels. Once again, I've never been beat up by cops. thank goodness. But it's a double-edged sword. We hear every single day it's getting ridiculous and more ridiculous. Am I angry? Of course. I'm definitely angry. Why shouldn't I be? I'm definitely angry because it makes no sense. It makes no sense for the United States of America to be supposedly one of the best countries, wealthiest countries out here, to go through the social, racial, and economical issues that we continually go through. It's heartbreaking. So I didn't want the show to me being lashing out at police officers, lashing out at white America, or lashing out at each other. Just giving you the ability to think. Think about Black Lives Matter. And certain people don't understand what that means. And once again, we didn't say that other lives don't matter. But at the present time, our lives need to matter. Black lives need to matter. I thought about this in junior high school. I went to John Philip Sousa, and I had to write an essay about Martin Luther King Jr. And I won, and the only reason why I won was because in the essay, I remember writing, if Martin Luther King Jr. was alive today, he'll be upset with how we're behaving towards each other. So once again, I'm not coming down on us per se. I'm just saying that we need to think about the things that we do as a whole, as a community. Remember, it takes a village to raise a child. So it's a continuation of us not respecting each other, not loving each other, and it has to stop. And once again, I'm not discounting any police officer killing or harming an unarmed black man. I haven't even begun to talk about that. The mere fact that police officers in the cities don't want to escort Beyonce, that's ridiculous. As entertainers, we need to continually stand up for social and racial injustice. That is your obligation. It is your duty. So when you have the platform to do that, take the platform and do it. I just wrote off a bunch of names. They did it. They did it because they saw the social injustice, the racial injustice that went on at that time. And at that time, it was far worse than it is now. So callers, I would love to hear from you, hear your opinions, your thoughts, what's going on in your mind. Once again, I definitely, like I said, I had a couple of police officers that were supposed to be here this evening, and I understand why they couldn't. Just the sensitive topic of nature and them being currently on a job as police officers. So definitely call in. I'll go over some things. Once again, friends of the show, friend support Diocese of Belize, SmashMouthFM.com out of Atlanta, Ricky E. Smith, always a good friend of the show. Let It Rain Radio, the hostess with the Moses, Rain. DJ Moore Fire, the A&G show was on before me. They have a big event coming up soon. And definitely want to thank once again my boy Tim Lewis for introducing me to Miss Shantice Hogue, who is the founder and owner of simply crafted for you. So I want to get that out the way because I know I kind of started the show a little different today. Uh, Definitely want to get out the way. I was reading some different articles and some things I want you to, think about. Like I said, not only entertainers have took a stance on Black Lives Matters at that time, but so did Jackie Robinson. And it's amazing what the media has done to the public to change words around all the time. But it's funny because I was watching during this month, it's Black History Month, and I was watching the movie Glory Road. For those who've never seen Glory Road, it's about Texas Western Miners coach Don Haskin. He played all black players, upsetting the NCAA tournament championship, winning in 1966. Great movie. Definitely great movie. But just wanted to share some of those things with you. Watching this month again, watching all these movies, they're playing Muhammad Ali, they're playing Ray. So it's funny how, they give us this month to definitely listen to Black America, giving us our month. And I want to tell you that, it doesn't take just 1 month of Black history for you to understand what history is. I also have a clip from Muhammad Ali. LA, do you have that clip I sent you from Muhammad Ali?
No, I have the 106-year-old woman.
Oh, you know what? Definitely. You know what? Definitely. If you haven't seen this on Facebook or social media, I'm gonna have the producer at LA play a clip, and it has to do with Black history. How when we say Black Lives Matter, once again, it's not just being unjust to us. It's also positive things as well. So definitely play that clip of the. It's a woman who's 106 years old who met the First Lady and President Barack Obama.
Virginia McCoy.
Hey!
How are you?
I'm fine.
Oh, it's so nice to see you.
It's an honor.
You want to say hi to Michelle?
Yes!
Slow down now. I don't know my weight. She's 106.
No, you are not. You are not.
Well, you slow down.
Oh my goodness. You are not. I want to be like you when I grow up.
Dancing? Come on.
Oh my goodness.
So what's the secret to still dancing at 106?
Just keep dancing. Yeah.
Come on.
We're so happy to have you here. And look at those nails.
Nails are all done.
Those nails.
Yes, sir. I thought I would never live to get in the White House.
Well,
You are
right
here.
And I tell you,
You are
I am
here.
so happy.
We are happy to have you.
Like President.
Then look at him.
Yay!
Right there.
Like,
That's me.
yes. And I'm here to celebrate Black history.
That's exactly.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for.
That's
Well, we're glad to have you here.
You have just made our day. You know that? That energy, man.
You made my day.
Okay.
Well, baby.
I said,
So once again, I know we had LA was downloading the clip for me. I sent him earlier, but once again, Black Lives Matter. It is something that I want each of us to really think about and take into consideration when you say Black Lives Matter, and don't just say it to just say it. Understand what it really, really means. But let's talk about the flip side to that, about Black Lives Matter. We're not saying it to just say it because we're just saying it. You have to understand the depth of what it means. People say, oh, why would you say that? And, all lives should matter. But the reality part of it is everyone else isn't going through what we're going through. Black men are not being killed, other races of men, white men, are not being killed by police officers the way black men are. And it's the same old cycle. There's no justification to where a police officer, as we've seen in many, many instances where they are supposedly doing their jobs, and then at the end there's no weapon found, the person's cooperating, and they've killed not only older men, younger men, but children. It's painful. It hurts. I know I definitely wanted to play a clip with Muhammad Ali. I said I want to play different clips for you this evening, just show you different things of what's going on throughout history. Elliot, definitely play that clip with Muhammad Ali.
My conscience won't let me go shoot my brother or some darker people or some poor, hungry people in the mud for big, powerful America and shoot them for what? They never called me nigger. They never lynched me. They never put no dogs on me. They never robbed me of my nationality, raped and killed my mother and father. What, I'm going to shoot them for what? How can I go shoot them? Them little poor little black people, little babies and children and women. How can I shoot them poor people? Just take me to jail.
Ali more than held his own against students who had a far better formal education than he.
I'm saying you talking about me about some draft, and all of you white boys are breaking your neck to get to Switzerland and Canada and London. I'm not going to help nobody get something my Negroes don't have. If I'm going to die, I'll die now right here fighting you. If I'm going to die, you my enemy. My enemies are white people, not Viet Congs or Chinese or Japanese. You my opposer when I want freedom. You my opposer when I want justice. You my opposer when I want equality. You won't even stand up for me in America for my religious beliefs, and you want me to go somewhere and fight, but you won't even stand up for me here at home.
Definitely wanted to play that clip for you because I found it very interesting. I saw the movie. There was actually a movie. I forgot the name of the movie where they were trying to figure out, I believe it was Supreme Court justices were trying to figure out whether they were going to send Ali to jail or not for not, him being up against the draft. And if you think about it, that's another situation of Black Lives Matter. I played that earlier today, and someone said on my Facebook, or one of my Facebook friends said, Ali was sticking up for himself. I know he was sticking up for himself. But when you look at the depth of what that meant to not only Muslim men at that time, black Muslim men at that time, but think about what it meant to young black men who saw that. And at that time, I want you to think about this. He says, I'm fighting a war right here. And that's what we're doing today in 2016. We're fighting a war right here in America. A continuing war against police brutality. So it's definitely heartbreaking, when you see it, when you hear it. It's you turn on the radio and it's a continuation of it being over and over and over again. Continuing, it's amazing how many people have said, well, once again, well, why is it only that Black Lives Matter? And we're not saying that it matters or it doesn't matter or your life doesn't matter or white lives don't matter. But we're not talking about the other lives. What you're doing is totally disregarding the situation. You're totally disregarding what it means when we say Black Lives Matter. It's a whole different situation. and you will never understand what it is. Never. And I'm telling you, I really wished I had the officers here just to give you an insight on both sides, because they actually felt the way most of you feel about why Black Lives Matter, giving us a different insight to their personal beliefs and what they think of what's going on today. So having a conversation with them via phone, they're telling me, "Hey, Alvin, you can't believe, man. Black on black crime is record numbers, but there's certain things I'm going to tell you that I'm not supposed to tell you. So I don't want to say it, but it's an injustice. It really is. It definitely is an injustice. We have to, once again, I keep saying this over and over, it takes a village to raise a child. It starts from the beginning, from when we're young to growing up, to understand what that actually means. So I know recently in the news, another police officer just killed someone. So when is enough going to be enough? When do we take a stand? It seems as if no one has that answer. How can we be always wrong? It's like we're always wrong when an injustice is done to us. No matter which way we go. If we're too violent, we're definitely wrong. If we sit down and be quiet, we're wrong because we're not doing anything. We're not even in the middle. So when can we actually say, hey, it's our time. We need to do something. We're sick and tired of being sick and tired. All across America, black men are targets. I also read recently, there's a police officer somewhere in the Midwest who was upset because he was fired for being a member of the KKK. He said he was unjustly fired. Now, we all know what the KKK is. It's amazing that he felt that he wants to sue the police department that fired him because he was unjustly fired. Supposedly they found some evidence of him treating black citizens the way he shouldn't. But you're a member of the KKK. Hello? So definitely, it's weird. I don't have any callers this evening. Definitely was looking forward to people calling in and asking some questions or giving their thoughts, their opinions, sharing their personal views. And so if you have any personal views on how you feel about the situation, I know there's definitely a sensitive, very sensitive topic. It really is. And once again, you definitely don't know which way to go, back on Beyonce, it's like I said, I read that she has supposedly the FBI is looking at her now. It doesn't make sense. It's amazing that, when you start standing for something, that the amount of people start kind of separating themselves from you. And once again, those entertainers, they have the not only the right, but they're obligated because they have that stage. You say, hey, look at me. This is what I'm about. I know that we definitely got a caller coming in. Good evening, you're live with Alvin After Dark. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Hi, Alvin. It's Dana.
Hey,
How
Dana.
are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How you feeling? What are your opinions or views on Black Lives Matter?
My opinion is, I think that things are really getting out of control right now, and we definitely have to look within our own communities. And like you said, it starts in the homes. It starts from the children, and we kind of have to be accountable for our own actions. Um, w- we are concerned with how the police are treating us, but we have to be concerned with how we're treating each other. So we're going to set ourselves back if the behavior that's taking place in the streets continue, because it's going to force the hand of the law to change, because things are so out of control right now. So I hope that everyone is just aware and kind of step in and be a part of making a change right now, because things are really every day, on the news, things are really getting worse and worse. I see it, and it's terrible. And I feel like if it keeps going in this direction, we're going to see a heavier hand in the law, which is going to be, of course, we're going to be most affected by it. So we have to make some changes within ourselves.
I agree.
So
Agree
I'd
with
like
you.
to say, have a good evening.
Thank you.
All right, and good night.
Good night. Hope you're enjoying the show.
All right, yes, I am.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Alvin.
Good night.
All right, bye.
Thank you, Cantina, for calling in. Definitely appreciate you listening in. And once again, I definitely want people to call in and share their views. Like I said, for those who if you're just tuning in, I shared a monologue with you earlier, and had a video of Miss Jane Elliott, who puts people in a position to see what we feel like. It's tough, but believe me, it is tough being a black man in America. It really is tough. I was watching a award show a while ago where Magic Johnson said everybody in this room is rich, but you need to be not only rich but be wealthy and give back to the community and start with ourselves. So they'll start with ourselves. And unfortunately, when a black man is killed by a police officer, as much as we want, as much as angry as we are, we cannot burn our own city down. And some people says, "Oh, enough is enough." I get it, but we just can't burn our city down. We cannot tear apart the things that you've worked so hard to build. Because it comes to a point where, I would say this since the topic's on my head. I am beyond disgusted when people, yell out, World Star, and put their phones up, and that's just crazy. It really is. If you could agree to agree, you'd agree to disagree, but that's just crazy. But once again, like Dana said, we have to hold ourselves accountable. You know, um, it is a tragedy to consistently hear police officers continually kill black men. It's heartbreaking. It's definitely heartbreaking. It's something that you're like, again, it's like we're numb to it. It's like, it's we're totally numb to it because we've come so far, yet we're taking a bunch of steps back. You know, we kind of look back at Martin Luther King. I use him as reference in Malcolm X. Martin Luther King says, "Hey, let us march and let's do this civilized." And Malcolm X said, "Hey, by any means necessary." And I think we have to know when to march. We have to know what the next move is going to be by any means necessary. And I'll say this over and over. You don't know how it is to be a black man in America if you're not black. And when someone says Black Lives Matter, you can't say to that person, oh, well, how about white lives? No, yeah, they matter. All lives matter. Believe me, all lives matter. But once you come to a point, like I said, when you're being sick and tired of being sick and tired, what are you going to do? When your back up is against the wall, the only thing you can do is fight. And some people, the only way they know how to fight is because their back's against the wall, is by being violent. For every action, there is a negative, positive, or equal reaction. So we will continue to push forward and fight social injustice, racial injustice. Because apparently, and the bad part is, it's on video. People will videotape it. And the officer will still be presumed innocent. It's a smack in the face. It's a smack in the face. It's a smack in the face to Black America to see a police officer kill someone, and then for that police officer to be acquitted of murder, to be let go. It's like you're giving the okay in the open season to kill black men. And I'm telling you, the conversation that a family, a black family, a family of color, whether black or Hispanic, has to have with their boys are completely different than the conversations that are had with other races. It is amazing. My brother took me to see the movie. It escapes me with Ice Cube. His name is Doughboy. What was the name of the movie? L.A. when he was the movie with Ice Cube was Doughboy, and they killed the football player. I forgot the name of the movie. The name of the movie escapes me, but my brother took me to see that movie, and my big brother had that at that time had that conversation with me about being a young black man in America. Was completely amazed, So once again, it's weird. I know the room is silent, and it's a touchy subject once again. Oh, we got about 15 minutes left, so callers definitely keep. I don't have any callers this evening, but if you're out there, definitely call in. Let me know your thoughts, your opinions. If you agree, disagree. I wanted to have a. My friends asked me, was I gonna do something for Black History Month, and I said, yeah, I was definitely gonna do something. I just didn't really know what to do. I didn't want to do the norm. Obviously we have the norm of people like Langston Hughes and Ray Charles and things like that. But Cola, you're on live with Alvin After Dark. What's your name? Where you calling from?
My name's Sydney, and I'm calling from Texas.
Sydney, what's going on, brother? How you feeling, man?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. This is Mr. Sidney Smith.
It is. Oh, the movie you're looking for is Boys in the Hood.
Thank you. Yeah. How you doing, Sidney, man? How you feeling, man?
Oh, man, long story, but we'll save that for another time. Just a couple of points. One on the whole Beyonce thing. You know, they say that she shouldn't have. The Super Bowl wasn't the platform for that kind of thing.
Okay.
Right. And in Boys in the Hood, the way I remember it, the only people killing other people were black people.
That's correct. And that was definitely my point too, saying, you know, black lives need to matter to other black lives.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know what? I've gotten in discussions with friends about the whole thing. You know, and you know, black people kill more black people than white. Like police officers only kill across the nation about maybe 140 black men throughout the year.
Yes.
So and it's really equal. They also kill about 140 white people throughout the year.
Yeah.
So it doesn't. I mean, to make a whole big argument about that, about 140, is insignificant when there are 9,000 murders of black people every year, and 90% of those are from other black men.
Yes, and that's one of the reasons why. You know, I like I said, it's a double-edged sword. You know, where do we, you know, and I said it. I say, you know, black lives need to matter to black lives, and I know those statistics. They're you're right. You know, the percentage of black men that kill other black men is high. You know, I definitely know it. But it also doesn't discount, once again, the fact that the police officers disregard lives of black men. But it's unfortunate, you know. So I kind of wanted to point out both sides, you know.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, you are 100% right. You definitely are. Like I said, I was doing the stats of how many black men kill black men, and I was blown away. You know, I was definitely blown away.
Yeah, absolutely. And thinking about it, you know, police officers, whether it's no matter what the case is, if it's just a simple traffic stop, you know, that they are on edge. I mean, they have to be.
Of course.
Because there's no telling what could happen on the most routine stops. But I think when they see a man of color or a young man of color, whether it be Hispanic, black, or whatever the case is, I think that they get intimidated, in that level of alertness goes up even that much more.
Okay.
And I think a lot of it is because of the perception of black men and young men in general doing crazy stuff.
Yeah, I agree with you.
You know, just the stuff that you see on the internet and things like that. And I think really that perception goes around the world.
It does. I think that, you know, it's funny because I want to touch on what you just said. You said they're intimidated. I don't think. I think police officers need to be trained a little better. You know, police officers need to have community relations, and once you have those community relations, you know how to deal with people of other races. And I think that's one of the challenges they face. They put these officers who have never worked with anyone else besides their own, and when they come in these neighborhoods, they don't know how to relate to them, and that's a challenge. And that's one of the things that, you know, the police officers that were going to be on with me this evening, we're going to talk about. You know, but that's definitely a challenge. And you said something earlier. You know, I know I'm in the military. I had to do guard duty at the gate, and you're right. You know, being at a gate and stopping a vehicle, it's your sense of alertness is heightened. You know, because you have a weapon in your hand and you don't know who is in the vehicle. You don't know how many people in the vehicle, and you don't know what their intent is. So you know, you've been in that situation, and so have I. You know, because we just don't know, you know. So, and I said it before, it's a double-edged sword. Just this past, training, I was at Fort Dix. And,
Fort Dix.
and I was at Fort Dix, and it's about 3 a.m. in the morning. I was really upset the fact that relief didn't come. So I'm on guard duty longer than I needed to be at the back gate. You know, I'm full battle rattle. You know, I got my body armor on, my M16. You know, and there's a convoy coming out, and I'm gonna say it was a deuce and a half full of white boys in the back, and it was a unit who's known to be a little racist. I was told, you know, they weren't for some reason the whole training time they were just being, and you felt it. You felt the tension.
Yeah.
God cussed me out. Now, mind you, I'm the person at the gate. I'm at the gate with an M16.
Yeah.
And I could do one of two things. I could do one of three things. I could have shot him. You know, if I was crazy, I could have shot him. I could have pulled him off the back of the truck, or I could have, you know, did something erratic. So once again, you know, for every action is a negative, equal, or positive reaction. So yeah, you're right. You're definitely right. You know, once I agree with you 100% all the way around.
Yeah. You should have pulled them off the truck and like, oh, we need to search this whole joint and everything. Open up your bag, all that.
I know that's what I should have did. I was just pissed off. I was pissed off. My relief didn't come, man. I was so upset. I want to get back in my tent.
But you know what? That's an excellent. What I just said would be an excellent example of how police officers feel when they pull over people, and then they get attitude like, "Oh, you just pulled me over because of this or because of that or whatever." You know what? Then the cops is going to say, "Oh, well, hey, I need to search your stuff. I need to go through your whole joint."
Yes,
and that just it's going to just escalate from there.
You know, you're right, and I think it's once again it's how we confront an officer. And like I said before, like I said something earlier, I said, you know, we have to be scripted on how we talk to the police officers, especially if it's a traffic stop. One of the things is, you know, I don't get pulled over too often, but when I do, you know, I give the police officer the courtesy and respect, and I humble myself because one, I don't want to be out there longer than I need to be. And you know, I give them the courtesy and respect of them doing their job. And when, you know, I got pulled over recently, and the cop said, "Why were you speeding?" And he said, "You actually saw me pointing my laser gun at you. You went faster." I said, "I'm sorry, I had to get to where I was going." The mere fact that I was honest, actually, and I kind of made a little joke about it. He let me go. You know, my big cheese grin on my driver's license help me out? Yes, it did. Did my military ID help me out? Yes, it did. But at the same time, before I pulled that out, you know, I let him know that I was in the military. You know, and he let me go. But he was about to not. You know, actually, he was. Excuse me. He was about to. He had said something else. That's why I gave him a military ID. But you know, it's how we confront them. You know, and like I said, unfortunately, we as men of color have to be scripted. But it is what it is. You know, we can't change the world. You know, we can't change the world at all.
Yeah, unfortunately. But yeah, I was going to say that, and I'll let you go after this. But you know, even looking at the rates of car crashes and deadly car crashes, you know, those statistics are what's the word I'm looking for? You're more likely as a black person to get into a deadly car accident than a white person.
Okay.
So the higher rates of black people being pulled over. I mean, if you think about it, okay, there's more likely to be in an accident. I mean, well, I'll let people figure that one out themselves.
Definitely.
But anyway, I'll let you go, man. I'll holler at you another time offline.
Sounds good, man. Thanks for calling. I appreciate it. Away from Texas, I appreciate it.
Yeah. All right, now.
Take care.
All right, later.
Once again, thanks Sydney for calling in. Sydney and I served together in the military. He's in Texas, and he's definitely a great supporter of the show. But yeah, it's once again it's definitely a double edged sword. Wow, definitely didn't realize I was talking so long. Got about 5 minutes left. Before before I uh, before I forget, you definitely want to get some shout outs. I know that DJ Morefire from the A&G show, DJ Morefire and the A&G show, they have a party coming up pretty soon. They're having a Pure Vibes Day party, and that's going to be the date for that is going to be not too sure when the date is. It's going to be in Freeport, New York. Not too sure when the date is. I'm sorry, Sunday, April 3rd. It's going to be Pure Vibes Day Party. Dress code, no hats, dress casual. It's going to be at Sazon Dominicano, 13 Atlantic Avenue, Freeport, New York. Once again, it's April 3rd, which is a Sunday. It's a day party. So definitely check them out. DJ Morefire and the A&G shows, a show before mine's. Once again, you definitely want to shout out to some people. Definitely want to shout out to some people. You can follow me also on Instagram, Alvin Peters 76. Alvin Peters 76 on Instagram, or definitely look me up on Facebook, Alvin Peters. Once again, always keep God first. Good Lord don't put you through nothing you can't handle. It's all how you handle it. And people definitely, we want everyone to really understand what it means when they say Black Lives Matters. Don't just throw it out there and just say it to say it. And I was looking for definitely more of an intense conversation this evening. I was hoping the guys who were coming this evening, who are police officers, was going to be here who can answer some of the questions or talk to you from their point of view. I'm not a police officer, so I don't know, but they had some good points that they wanted to point out and let you know that they're upset just like you are. They're pissed off. They're definitely pissed off about what's going on in the world, what's going on in America with police officers killing unarmed black men, and they're upset. And they really are. So if you have any calls, definitely. If anyone calling, definitely call. But let you know for next week. Next week's gonna be a great show. I have a great topic coming up. It's gonna be cocktails and convo. Oh, before I forget, I just remember myself. How I got cocktails and convo was from my boy Kurt Otley, who he has a podcast, and his podcast is called Cocktails and Convo, and it's off the hook. And that's how I got the idea for Cocktails and Convo. So next week I'm going to have a panel of women. They're going to be here. And we're going to have a glass of wine. Is that okay, L.A.? L.A.'s like, sure. They're beautiful women. Sure, not a problem. Definitely, we're going to have a panel of women, talk about what's wrong, not only with men of today, but women. Women. So it's going to be great to hear women talk about other women, about, what's going on. And once again, definitely keep watching the show, Alvin After Dark. I'm here every single Tuesday from 11 p.m. to 12 a.m. And once again, I'm going to keep trying to give you great content. If I'm trying to create the platform for people who want to come up here, and express themselves. I keep saying before, if you want to come co-host with me, come co-host. If you have a store, if you have a product that you want to market, if you're a singer, dancer, whatever that you want to do. The opportunity is here for you to do it. Like I said, I'm trying to get my personal trainer up here to talk to you about, eating better, healthier lifestyle and things like that. But once again, just going back to today's topic, Black Lives Matter. Understand what it means. Don't just spit it out. Say, oh, Black Lives Matter. Understand what it means. And believe me, people are definitely angry. But once again, it takes a community to raise a child, And any last words from you, L.A., about Black Lives Matter?
No, it was interesting to hear. I don't really, like you said, you were explaining it, so I took a lot of it in and understand a little more.
Okay,
definitely cool.
LA's undercover brother. Well, we want to always thank you again for listening to Alvin After Dark from 11 p.m. to 12 a.m. Once again, thank you. I appreciate it. Everyone have a good night. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And I look forward to hearing from you soon. We out.